Hello, everyone. Jesus Pelosa here with MK Partners, and thank you for joining us for another round of our monthly Mambo Merge Office Hour series. Today is April 7th, and Matt Kaufman, our lead developer, is going to be walking us through some of the basic functionalities, setup, simple troubleshooting, and going over some of the new features that have just been released, as well as the product roadmap moving forward. So, thank you again for joining us, and thank you, Matt, for doing this. Take it away.
Thanks, Jesus. Let me begin by sharing my screen. All right. So here I am. I'm in Salesforce, and I'm going to begin assuming that you've already installed Mambo Merge, which you can do by going to the App Exchange, Salesforce's App Store, and installing from there. And you can install it in either Sandbox or production. In this case, we're in a developer org, so we can make any changes we want here and not worry about messing up anyone's business. So after you've done your installation, you'll actually be presented with the steps that we're about to do with how to basically start using Mambo Merge and get it set up on the screen. But I'll do it for you. So what I'm going to do is I went to the opportunity, and this is where I want to use Mambo Merge. So I'm going to go to the opportunity record, and I'm a system administrator, so I have access to setup. I'm actually going to click the gear at the top right corner and then choose Edit Page. This is going to take us to our Lightning App Builder. If you're unfamiliar with this, this is where you can kind of configure different components and widgets on the page. And one of those you'll see on the left-hand side is going to be Mambo Merge. So once you've installed, you'll have this here under Custom Managed. And we can just drag this to anywhere we want on the page. Totally up to you where you want to put it. I'm going to go ahead and just drag it and drop it right here. You'll notice it was a little green highlight, and that meant it was OK to drop. Now, we're going to come back to this screen later, so we'll kind of go over these other options later. For now, I'm just going to hit Save. And if you haven't already activated this page, you may be prompted to do so. You can also click the activation button here to kind of go through and activate it. And activating it basically means that you're assigning this page for a specific set of users or record type based on profile or app and that type of stuff. For simple situations, you can just set it as the org default. You can see here we've already done that. I'll go ahead and hit close. And that means that all your users will always see the same page. If you have different users and different needs, then you might have different pages, different versions of it, and things like that. I'll back out of this Lightning Page Builder, and we'll now see Mambo Merge is on the page here. Now, once we're here, we can see that Mambo Merge is basically in its default state, which is when it doesn't know what you want to do. And so when it doesn't know what you want to do, it presents you with a drag and drop or upload files little button where you can drop a Word template onto it, and it will do a one-time merge of the data on this record with that template. And that's the gist of what Mambo Merge does in general. So that's the default state. But most of the time, we want to go beyond the default state. We want to maybe have it use a specific template every time and not require our users to drag and drop or hit the upload button to specify a template that's on their local computer. We want to use the same template every time, one that our administrator has gone and perfected and made beautiful. And that way, all the documents we generate will always have that right look to it. So let's talk about how we do that. So to start, we need a Word document. And usually, our clients already have one. You already have a Word document that you've been using for your invoices, for your SOWs, for your work orders, whatever it may be. And so you're going to go and take that Word document and start changing the specific words on the screen with our merge fields. So you can imagine if this was a statement of work or an invoice or something like that, maybe we had today already filled in, and so it had today's date of March 7th. And it had the name of the company, had Acme and things like that. We're going to replace those with these merge fields. And the merge field in Mambo Merge is basically a double curly brace and then a field name. So if we're on an opportunity and we want to reference the opportunity's name, that's the name field. And so you can see here, it's just name. If we're on in that same opportunity, we want to reference that opportunity's parent account and that account's name field. You can see we use a dot notation, account.name. And same thing for some other fields. And one of the most common questions we get asked is, well, how do I know the names of my fields in Salesforce? And there's two ways to do that. One is you can go to Salesforce Setup. So I'm going to go ahead and click this gear here and click Edit Object. And this will take me to Salesforce Setup. And as an administrator, I can then see all the fields on this object. And we can see here all those fields here. including custom fields, which are going to end with __C. But you'll notice that account name is actually not on this page. Well, that's because it's part of the account. So then I have to go back to the object manager and choose the account. And if you have a complex situation with a lot of different records, well, you might end up having to go to a lot of different screens. So what we've done for you in Mambo Merge is created this template builder. And so we can click on the drop-down menu in Mambo Merge and choose Template Builder. And basically, because we're going to the template builder from the opportunity, we're going to see all of the fields and objects that are available from an opportunity. And so we can click on this available objects and we'll see, okay, well, here's opportunity, and here are all the fields on the opportunity. And name was that one we were looking at, and you can see the merge fields there. Account was another one. If we choose account name, right there. So we give you this notation for the merge fields in Mambo Merge based on where you're at. So because we started from an opportunity, we're seeing fields that are available from an opportunity. You can even see opportunity line items is here. And so we can loop through that related list. This is the notation we use for that. If we were on a case or an account or some other object in Salesforce, Mambo Merge will show the fields that are available for that particular object. And so it differs depending where we're at. Now, we know a lot about the standard objects in Salesforce. We know all about opportunities. We know that opportunities have opportunity line items and opportunities have opportunity contact roles. And we know that cases have case team members and case comments, and so on and so forth. For your custom objects, all the fields for your custom objects will be shown here. And then later we can look at how we can extend that to related objects as well, which is one of the features in our paid editions. So we take all the different fields that we want to use in our template from this template builder, and we paste them into our Word doc. And you can see I've already done that here. And so let's just go through here. So we have a bunch of account fields. We have information about the owner. So opportunity records have owners. And so we can reference the first name and last name. That's great because often the sales rep's name is going to show up there, or their email address, and so on and so forth. We have the description field. We have stage name. I'll talk about some of these special functions in just a minute. Down here, we have a table. And this table is doing a for each, which means for each opportunity line item in the opportunity line items related list, which is what we just looked at in that template builder, go ahead and insert a row with the following information. And so we can see quantity and the name and the unit price and so on and so forth. And then we end that for each with a close tag. We have something very similar down here for each opportunity contact roles. Opportunities have contact roles. Those are the people at our company that are working on it, or sorry, at our client that are involved. And so you can see here how we are going to be repeating for each contact role in that related list, the contact name and the role. Up here, we're doing it in a table. Down here, we're doing it in bullets. It doesn't really matter. Everything between the start tag and the close tag are going to be repeated. So it can be indented, it can be formatted, it could be a table. We don't really care. In this case, you can even see here we're adding an image. So for each line item on that opportunity, we're going to show an image of that product's look and feel. Some other neat things that we have in here, let's just scroll down a little more. We have some functions. So if you want to uppercase or lowercase your text, we have the lower and upper functions that are available. There was a today function that we look at the very top. Time fields, rich text fields, image we already looked at. Let's come back to the very top. I think we had an if statement also at the very top. Here we go. So if true. So often our clients want the wording of the document to change based on the record itself. And rather than having two templates, one for records that are closed won and one for records that are not closed won, we can actually have one template. And in that template, we can dynamically change what's going to show up based on the data. And so here you can see that we're saying if true, the opportunity stage name is equal to closed won, display this phrase of thanks for being our customer. And if false, then we hope to do business with you. And you can use different operators here. In this case, we're using equals equals. You could also use not equals. You could also use greater than, less than, greater than equals, et cetera, et cetera. And so this allows you to kind of, have fewer templates and have those templates dynamically change. And that way, your Salesforce users don't need to make as many decisions. They don't need to type as much on the resulting document. The goal should always be that the document is perfect when it's generated and that no changes are needed to it. And that means that we're going to fill out more information in Salesforce so that Mambo Merge knows exactly what to do when they generate that document. So I'm going to perfect this template. I'm going to save it to my local computer. And then I'm going to come back into Salesforce. I'm going to go and upload this template to the Files tab. So this is where we store our templates. You can see I have a bunch, and it's just a matter of uploading it. So you just come here, click Upload, select it from your computer. And once it's uploaded, we want to get the ID of the file. So the way we do that is we click on the file, and it'll show us a little preview. And then this little menu here at the top, we can choose View File Details. And now we're able to get the ID of the file. So every record in Salesforce has a unique URL in your browser. And you'll see here this unique URL. And part of that is going to be the file ID. It's going to be either 15 characters or 18 characters. In this case, it's the 18 because we're in Lightning. I'm going to just copy that. And sometimes I paste it somewhere so I have it for reference. But I'm not going too far away, so I don't think I'm going to need to paste it anywhere for now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to my opportunity. I mentioned earlier we're going to come back to that screen. This is when we're going to do it. So I'm going to come back to our opportunity, and I want to tell Mambo Merge, hey, Mambo Merge, use this template every time for opportunities. And so I'm going to click here at the gear at the top. I'm going to hit Edit Page and go back to our page builder. Okay, and now that I'm in the Lightning App Builder, Mambo Merge is still there. And I'm going to click on it. And we have those attributes that were available before, those fields. I'm going to paste that template ID right there. And so the file ID is going to go right there. I'm also going to turn on debug mode just in case anything happens. This will give us some more information. Normally, you probably don't want this on because debug mode will actually slow down the generation process. But in case anything goes wrong while I'm doing a live demo, I like to have it on, so I'm going to turn that on right now. I'm going to save the page again. I activated it the first time, so I don't need to activate it again. And I'm going to go ahead and click back. And what you'll notice is Mambo Merge is different. But first time when we didn't tell Mambo Merge what we wanted it to do, it had that drag and drop or upload file area, basically requiring me to upload the template. Now that I've told it, hey, always use this template, it just shows the single merge button. So I'm going to go ahead and click that merge button. And what's going to happen when I click it? I didn't do it yet. When I click it, it's going to take the data from this record. It's going to take our template. It's going to merge them together and give me a brand new document. So let's go ahead and click it. And it did it that quickly. And so we can see here all of those merge fields, which I still have the other document behind this one. You know, the double curly brace name, double curly brace account.name, etc. They get replaced with the data from this record. And I'll scroll down. We can see what else we have. So remember that if statement. It says, we hope to do business with you. Well, that was because if we come back here, we hope to do business with you was when the stage name is not closed won, right? And if we come back to our record and we look, the stage name is indeed not closed won. It's currently at proposal price. So that worked properly. Let's come down a little further. Here we have our table. We see a record for each of the line items. And a little further down, we see the bullets for each of the people on this opportunity. Let's go ahead and just compare this real quick. So we have 1, 2, 1, 25, 5, 100. Let's go ahead and look here. 1, 2, 1, 25, 5, 100. Looks like the order is a little different, but the data is the same. And let's look here. We have Sam Johnson, the economic buyer, and Jack Rogers, the decision maker. Yep, that worked too. Great. Let's see if there's anything else down below. We can see the lowercase and the uppercase did work. So that same text, one of them had the lower function on it. Let's look what that looked like. Right there. And the other one had upper. And so we do that for you. And it looks like these fields aren't filled out on this record, so we can always do it on another record if needed. And so that's the kind of the next step from the default mode to the single button mode. And single button mode is included in the free edition of Mambo Merge, doing exactly what we just did, where we would upload that file into the Files tab, take the ID, and then put it right there onto Mambo Merge. We also have the ability to do some more advanced functionality in the paid editions, and that's what we'll look at right now. Before we do that, though, I do want to show you some things that you can kind of use along with both free and paid features that are built into Salesforce. So if we did want to have a different experience for our users, let's say we want to use a different template, and we have a draft template and a final template, we can do that right here, which is standard Salesforce functionality. Obviously, we could do an if statement too, but I like to show this too. So I'm going to come here, And I'm going to just edit this page one more time. And inside the Lightning App Builder, there's all sorts of other stuff here on the left-hand side, different components. One of which is tabs. So we can see here, we could take tabs, and we see some of our customers do this. Let me just drag this real quick. And we could have 2 tabs here, and maybe one of them is going to be named, let's see if I can rename this to draft. And then the other one could be named final, right? Just like the example that I just mentioned. And then what's nice is you can actually drag Mambo Merge onto the screen multiple times. So let me go ahead and drag Mambo Merge once onto the draft, and then once onto the final. And I know it's kind of small to see, but there are actually 2 different instances of Mambo Merge there. And each of those instances can have a different template ID. So I can, just do something like that. And then come here and click on this one and put something else. Those aren't real IDs, obviously. But you'll see that if I go back and forth, the numbers do stick. And so this would be a way to have different templates available and different buttons basically available. But in this case, the user has to make the decision. And that's not always ideal. It depends on your business process. Sometimes you want your users to decide what to do. Other times you really don't want to leave things to chance. You want to just show the one button and the only one button that's appropriate. And so there's another way to do that also. Or sometimes you only want the button to show up under certain circumstances. So another feature that's available here, not from the left-hand side, but on the right-hand side, when I click on Mambo Merge, I can set component visibility. You can see that here. And what this does is basically allow us to do a filter. And this filter could be based on the record itself. It could also be based on something more advanced like the person. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and do it based on the record. And I'm just going to say, you know what? We only want to show the button if the record is closed won. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save and go back. And now when I look at this record, it should not show Mambo Merge because this record is not closed won. And sure enough, it's gone. And so this would be a kind of an easy way to do like a process where at a certain stage, when things have reached a certain moment or certain state, let's go ahead and show the button to generate the document and allow our users to generate the document. And so I can come here and hit close one. And now it shows up. And you could do the exact same thing. I'll go back based on the person. So maybe our reps are allowed to generate draft documents, in which case we would put Mambo Merge on the page. And if the user is a certain type of user, we show one template. And if the user is a different type of user, like a manager or a supervisor, we show the final template. And so you could do that here. This same option here, we can see advanced. And let's just go ahead and choose user. And maybe it's department, maybe it's division. You can kind of see here how it could work. But all these fields are available to us, including profile and role. And so you could have a certain role that's allowed access to, the final template, and other ones that are allowed access to the draft template. And so that's another way built into Salesforce that you can kind of customize the experience that you use with Mambo Merge. I'm going to go ahead and save this and go back one more time. And then for our paid customers, we have even more options. When we click the drop-down menu, our paid customers have this setup option. And this is where they can set up configurations to use with Mambo Merge. And these configurations allow you to do all sorts of neat stuff. I'm going to go ahead and create a new one. We'll call this opportunity. And this allows you to use multiple templates. I'm going to go ahead and just grab that ID and paste it in here. And let's just say this one is draft and draft.docx. And this one is final. And for the sake of time, I'm just going to use the same templates. And we can display it as buttons or a dropdown. I'll go ahead and choose a dropdown, and I'll say this configuration. I'm going to copy this configuration ID here, the word opportunity, but you can make it whatever you want. So I'm going to hit save configuration. And now I'm going to go and I'm going to edit this page again. So it's great to be familiar with the screen because we do it a lot. And I'm going to click on Mambo Merge. And instead of pasting that file ID, our paid customers can actually paste that configuration ID. And you'll notice it already changed. But I'll go back to the record. We now have a drop-down with those 2 options. And so we can see that there. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit draft. Now, the same thing is going to happen. For this particular configuration, I had specified, please attach the resulting document to the record. And so you can see here, instead of opening it up right away and downloading to my computer, which is the default mode, it actually attached it down here, and we can see draft. And if I were to choose final and do that one, it'll go ahead and generate that final one too. And so you can create multiple buttons. You can have this huge drop down, and then combining that with the visibility functionality, you can only display it when you need to display it, either based on the process or based on the person, whatever is the best fit for your company.